I think it's time for us to close this session, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for Tony and Lawrence, who just left the stage here, for sharing their insights with us today. It's always great to hear from such great experts what's on the horizon for the cable industry from a technology perspective. Your discussion takes us to the end of day one. Ladies and gentlemen, it now falls me to offer a few thoughts on what we've heard today. I sincerely hope that it has given you all, as it has me, a greater understanding of where the cable industry is heading and the challenges and opportunities the future holds. Let me just pick up a few of the thoughts and observations that most struck me today. That's not easy, as there was a lot to choose from. We started with some uplifting news. Manuel Constan, the president of Cable Europe, announced the latest data on the cable industry, compiled by Screen Digest. Despite a full-blown economic crisis, total revenues for the industry grew by 3%. He was also able to report double-digit growth across all the new services area. And he talked a lot about speed. In many places, 100 megabit per second speeds are recalibrating users' expectations. They now understand that real broadband starts between 20 and 40 megabits. I loved his summary: professional speeds at residential prices for living rooms throughout Europe. For many operators from other platforms, these kinds of speeds remain a huge problem, but we are forcing them to follow us. Digital TV also featured heavily in the session this morning, and rightly so, as we've reached a major milestone in digital TV in the EU. For the first time, digital TV revenues are higher than analog TV revenues, with progress across the board in all countries in the EU. This morning, Telenet announced Digital Wave 2015, an acceleration of their network investment program, by making sure that their new network is ready in 5 years rather than 10 years. Telenet is making sure it can keep ahead of consumer demand for new services and applications such as 3D, VOD, and mobile TV, as well as new file sharing and even government online services. They're also testing new 4G LTE mobile networks to give users 10 times faster mobile internet, a test which is part of their philosophy of follow the customer, not the cable. In this morning keynote, Telenet's CEO Duco Sickinger spoke more about the user experience and the importance of a strong brand to be successful in the cable market. I liked his comment that cable is not providing the network, it is providing the user experience, something we have always wanted. This goes to show that our goals are becoming reality, something we could not have just said just a few years ago. We were privileged to hear the views of no less than 4 CEOs during the opening session on the future of the cable industry. Is speed enough to help the industry get ahead? Mike Fries from Liberty Global pointed out that for the first time in a long time, as an industry, we are totally redefining what broadband means. We start where DSL ends. We are re-establishing the opportunities in this industry, and for the first time, we are seeing stability and we are reigniting sales. It was also interesting to hear a consensus that DOCSIS 3.0 adds enormous capabilities at very little cost and can have a halo effect on other products in the portfolio. That said, Europe lacks the US on VOD, for now at least. But once there are more set-top boxes in the field, then Europe will reach a tipping point, with more subscribers and more content available. When that happens, the panel felt that current subscription-based business model for pay TV will easily translate for VOD, with more dedicated channels addressing specific interests and attracting premium revenues. The environment and CSR, 2 items climbing up the general business agenda, were at the center of our afternoon keynote from Mark Hollinger at Discovery Networks. Discovery has announced a partnership with the UN to help preserve biodiversity and we also heard details of the Global Education Partnership, a project working with educators in Africa and South America and reaching 1 million children in 11 markets. Very admirable efforts, I think. Mark Hollinger and Duco Sicking in the morning also emphasized the importance of the relationship between programmers and distributors. The two need each other more than ever before in the changing world of TV and content delivery. The mobile strategy session then addressed the role of the cable industry in driving mobile broadband deployment. The panel raised some interesting points. Should cable be pursuing a mobile strategy? Our panel thought that it did in today's competitive environment. Virgin Media told us how they worked hard on defining a target audience for mobile and realizing that it was their broadband customers. What also came out was that for cable operators to be successful in the mobile market, the relationship with the end user is at the core. Tomorrow, there is a full program as well. If you haven't had a chance to go already, the exhibition space will open from 8:30 with the plenary session kicking off at 9:40. I hope to see many of you at the Telenet party tonight. Have a great evening and see you tomorrow.